Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jack. I'm the founder here at Scenarios. We're a marketing agency based in London that helps brands set up effective campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. And in this week's video, we're going to go over how to run Facebook ads with a smaller budget. We're going to focus on what the main elements are that you can use in your advantage when you do have a smaller budget and how you can use those elements to make sure you're getting the best return on every advertising dollar. And later on in the video, we're going to actually go over one example from one of our recent clients that we managed to get 6 times return on ad spend for their Black Friday campaigns using a very small budget along with the tactics that we're going to talk about in today's video. When you're dealing with a smaller budget on Facebook and Instagram, you're already at a disadvantage because when you are running ads on Facebook and Instagram, what you're essentially doing is buying data on the platform. And what this data allows you to do is essentially understand what sort of marketing messages are resonating with your audience, what audiences are interested in the brand, what creatives, what copy is working. And when you are limited with your budget, you don't have the luxury of testing out all of these different variables. Instead, what you need to do is really focus in on a very small number of elements that you know are going to work. And spend your entire budget on those elements. The first way you can do this is by focusing mainly on retargeting audiences. Now, when you're first starting out and again you have a smaller budget, you won't have the ability to spend money on new audiences, testing which sort of interests that are perhaps interested in your brand. That's going to be very cost ineffective. Instead, what you want to do is focus on the people who are already interacting with your brand one way or another in the form of retargeting audience. That could represent people who have visited your website in the past, interacted with your Facebook or Instagram pages, perhaps your email or customer list as well. And you want to create as large of a retargeting pool as possible. And you want to focus all of your marketing budget on those people. The second thing you want to do when you are running Facebook ads with a smaller budget is, first of all, we talked about retargeting. The second thing you want to do is forget about trying to do any sort of split tests or testing any sort of creatives or copy against each other, just because you won't have the budget to do that. Instead, what you want to do is really spend some time when creating the creatives and the copy to think about what sort of concerns your consumers might have, what the main marketing message or unique selling propositions are from your products, what the benefits are towards the end consumer. And you want to focus your marketing messages and make it as powerful as possible from the get-go. Again, you don't have the budget to go ahead and test out 5 different creatives with 5 different headers to see which one's resonating the most. So you want to use your gut instincts, everything you know about your customers, to create as powerful ads as possible. On that same note, on that same page, you're also only going to be able to create a very small number of creatives. My recommendation would be around 3 or 4 creatives for that retargeting audience pool that we talked about. That's going to consist of your website visitors, your Facebook and Instagram page followers, as well as your email and customer lists. The last thing you want to focus on when you are running Facebook ads with a smaller budget is to focus on one product, which could be one of your best sellers, or to create a bundle with an offer along with it. And the reason for that, again, to reiterate, is when you have a small budget, you really need to focus that budget on one thing. And trying to get customers to purchase multiple products or sending them perhaps to the general shopping page isn't going to be the best option. My recommendation would be to create a bundle offer that's very clear and concise, and send people to a targeted landing page that has everything they need in terms of information to make a purchasing decision for that offer. Again, that's going to allow you to send all the traffic to that one landing page and get as much data as possible on that, and it has the best chances of working. As I said in the beginning of the video, I'm actually going to jump into a very quick example to show you all of these elements in play. I'm actually going to go through it step by step, showing you exactly what we did to work with the small budget to create the retargeting audience pool that we talked about, create those 3 or 4 creatives that we know are going to resonate with our audiences, given what we know about our customers, how we optimize the landing page as well to make sure we're sending people exactly to the place where we want them, where we created a bundle offer for one specific set of products that we know people are going to be interested in, and all of those elements combined together, we managed to get some really great results. So I'm about to jump into the ads manager for one of our clients. Just for a bit of context, this is a beauty brand that's doing approximately 20K per month in sales, and they had a small budget to work with for this recent Black Friday campaign that we worked on. And we used all of those elements that we discussed earlier to create very, very effective campaigns. Overall, we spent around $870 and generated more than $5,000 back in sales directly attributed to the ads. Here in the Ads Manager, as you can see, just for transparency, I'll just refresh the page very quickly so that you can clearly see what's going on here. This is from the 12th of November 2020 to November 30th, 2020 again. I'm going to take you step by step on how we set up this campaign, the targeting that we went through, the creatives, as well as the landing page and the optimization strategy that we used to get the best results possible. The first thing I'll show you very, very quickly is just the results that we got. As you can see here, we managed to generate close to $5,200 in sales, while we only spent $873 in that very short time period. Again, one thing that I didn't mention earlier in the video is because you have a small budget, you also want to shorten it up and spend it in a very short amount of time to allow the ads to get as many sales as possible. One thing that also worked to our advantage is the fact that this is Black Friday, and so people are more likely to purchase. So again, if you do have a small budget, for example, at the moment, perhaps wait a little bit until it's the prime time for the holiday season, for Christmas, for example, which is pretty much around this time, and spend your entire budget in a short amount of time in order to allow the ads to generate as many sales as possible. And this is exactly what we did with this client. You can see here again, we spent $873 in total and generated $5,200 back. Overall, all of our ads were profitable. We didn't have to turn off any of the ads. Again, this came from the element that I discussed earlier, which is we really took the time to understand who the customers are, what their concerns are, and how we incorporate those in the ads, which allowed us to have success with every single creative that we created. Again, because we had that small budget, we only were able to create 4 ads, but you can see here the lowest ROAS we were getting was around 4 times return on ad spend on this ad right here. Our average cost per purchase was also pretty competitive, considering that this was run on Black Friday weekend, $19 right here, and an average ROAS overall of 5.95 return. So jumping back into the ad set, starting with the targeting right here, what we'll look at very quickly is what I mentioned before, which is you want to create a retargeting pool that's as large as possible. In this case, that consisted of their website visitors in the last 180 days, their entire email list, which I believe in this case was around 5,000 emails, their customer list, as well as their Facebook and Instagram followers in the last year. So again, that gave us an audience size of around 25,000 people, which was more than enough for the budget that we had to run it entirely for that Black Friday campaign. Again, once we created that audience, that's all we needed. We weren't testing out different audiences. One thing to also mention here is we bundled all of these audiences together. Because this is a smaller brand with a smaller budget, we weren't able to split all these audiences in the case where we would just test out the website visitors, then test out the email list, then test out the customer list. We bundled them all together to create a large enough audience for our budget. Then when it came to the ads, due to the confidentiality agreement with the client, I won't actually go into the creatives of the ad, but I'll give you a general sense and idea of what we went with. Essentially, we created one offer on one of their more popular bundles. The offer was around $25 off, and we created creatives specifically around that offer. Some of the creatives just revolved around a slide showcasing what the offer looks like. For example, that could say something like, holiday offer, get $25 off with your purchase, with a nice aesthetic image in the background on the actual bundle. We also created 3 ads that revolve around a testimonial of people actually talking about the product. And one thing that worked tremendously well, one of our highest performing ads, was this one right here, which essentially had a split screen setup, and these ads have been working pretty well recently, where you have in the same ad itself, the screen would be split in two. And I'll actually put up an example of what this looks like right now for another brand, just to show you, give you an idea of what that looks like. On one side of the ad, you would see someone reviewing the products, and on the other side, it will have the offer slide itself talking about the offer. And that works really, really well because they're getting the testimonial and they're hearing people talking about the product, and they're seeing the product right in front of their face along with the offer. And it seems to work really, really well. One thing to also mention right here with the ads, do not be afraid to increase the frequency. You can see here our total frequency was almost at 5 times per person. You wanna keep the offer in people's faces in order for them to convert, which is really, really important. The last thing I want to talk about very, very quickly is the landing page that we created for them, and we sent traffic directly to that landing page. In this case, we used an app called Shogun to create the landing page. We've actually launched an entire video on how to optimize your Facebook ads landing page that I'll link up in the cards if you want to go check that out. And just in general, we had all the elements that create a very, very optimized landing page. We have how to use video, customer testimonials, before and after pictures, frequently asked questions, some more reviews, as well as the entire list of ingredients down here. And this worked really, really well in terms of conversion rates. We were getting quite a high conversion rate on this landing page as well. Again, when you're working on that low budget, and you're sending traffic to your website, you want to make sure the website's as optimized as possible. And I do again highly recommend you check out the video we created on how to create some of those landing pages, and that's going to be tremendously helpful. And there you have it, guys. These are the main elements that I would suggest you focus on if you are looking to run Facebook ads for your e-commerce brand and you have a small budget. And again, just to summarize, first of all, you want to focus on your audience. You want to create the largest retargeting pool you can, which usually consists of, again, the website visitors, your Facebook and Instagram followers, your email and customer list. That's going to give you as large of a pool as possible with people who have already interacted with your brand. The second thing you want to do is focus on 3 to 4 creatives that you know are going to work well. And the way you're going to know they work well is by focusing on the unique selling propositions of the product, focusing on the concerns that customers might have and tackling those in the ads. The third thing we talked about is optimizing the landing page that you're sending people on and making sure it revolves around either one of your best sellers or a bundle offer that you've created. So again, focusing all of that traffic for one offer on one product is the best way to make sure you get the best returns possible when you're using a small budget. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did find it valuable, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. We'll definitely be creating more content pretty soon. We have some Christmas campaigns coming up for our clients, so we'll perhaps create some videos around that as well. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.